As we stepped away from the fading grandeur of the sands of eternity, the silence of the desert felt eerily profound. The whispers of time had faded into a distant murmur, and the spectral guardians had vanished. All that remained was us, the moonlit expanse of sand, and the path leading to the formidable pyramid under the shimmering stars, the dwelling place of the Eye of Ra. The sands beneath our feet shifted with every step, whispering tales of ancient heroes and forgotten gods, tales that were as old as time itself. The pyramids stood as an enduring testament to the unyielding passage of time, their imposing silhouettes etched sharply against the starry canvas of the night sky. We approached the pyramid slowly, the weight of our journey bearing down upon us. A strange chill swept across the desert, wrapping around us like an ominous cloak. It was a chilling prelude to the trials that awaited us. The entrance to the pyramid was an inky void, a doorway to the past, brimming with unknown horrors and mysteries. As we stood before the entrance, I could feel Sarah's grip on my hand tightening. I turned to look at her, her face partially illuminated by the moonlight. I could see the uncertainty flickering in her eyes, shadowed by the horrors of what might lie within. "We can do this, Sarah," I whispered, squeezing her hand in assurance. Her eyes met mine, the glimmer of determination resurfacing. She nodded, her grip on my hand reassuring. Stepping into the pyramid was like stepping into another world. The desert's chilly wind was replaced by an unnatural stillness, a chilling hush that seemed to stretch into infinity. Our footsteps echoed ominously through the endless stone corridors, the oppressive darkness barely kept at bay by our dimly lit torches. Every inch of the pyramid was inscribed with hieroglyphics, the etchings appearing alive in the flickering torchlight. They told a terrifying tale of a time when the gods walked among men, of unspeakable rituals performed to appease them, and of sacrifices made in their names. My heart pounded in my chest as I wondered what role we would play in this ancient narrative. As we delved deeper into the heart of the pyramid, the air grew colder, the darkness more profound. The silence was occasionally broken by a distant echo, a chilling reminder of the labyrinthine nightmare we were navigating. We reached a chamber adorned with colossal statues of jackal-headed Anubis, the god of the afterlife. They stood as silent sentinels, their obsidian eyes gleaming with an eerie luminescence in the torchlight. It was as if they were assessing our worthiness, deciding our fate in this ancient world. A colossal door stood before us, decorated with intricate symbols and guarded by the Anubis statues. As I approached, I could feel a strange hum resonating from the door, an ancient energy pulsating in sync with the beating of my heart. I reached out and pushed the door. It moved with surprising ease, revealing another room bathed in an otherworldly blue light. This was the Chamber of the Eye, the heart of the pyramid. In the center was a circular pedestal, atop which sat a magnificent golden artifact studded with azure gems, the Eye of Ra. It pulsed with a power that seemed to defy the sands of time, its blue light casting dancing shadows on the chamber walls. But what stole my breath away was the shadow that stood beside the pedestal. It was tall and imposing, draped in royal attire. A golden mask adorned its face, a visage of the ancient pharaohs. As it turned to face us, I could see the unmistakable glow of blue from within the eye holes of the mask, the same blue as the Eye of Ra. Before us stood the last pharaoh, the immortal guardian of the Eye of Ra. As the chilling reality sank in, I could feel the blood draining from my face. We were standing in the presence of a god king, in the heart of an ancient world, our fate hanging by a thread in this chilling confrontation. The figure of the pharaoh was bathed in the azure light of the Eye of Ra, his golden mask gleaming with an eerie luminescence. Time seemed to stand still, as we found ourselves locked in a chilling standoff with this figure from the past. "I am Akhenaten, the last of the God Kings," he intoned. His voice was a low rumble, echoing through the ancient chamber. "Why do you seek the Eye of Ra?" I took a deep breath, steeling my nerves. "We seek a way to return to our time, Akhenaten. We meant no harm when we activated the machine. We did not realize it would lead us here." The God King seemed to ponder my words, his golden mask reflecting our anxious faces. "The path through time is treacherous. Many have lost themselves in its labyrinth, never to return. Yet you claim you seek to undo your actions. You wish to reset the sands of time? His words carried a weight that sunk into my heart, but I stood tall. Yes, we seek to correct our actions, to ensure that we never meddled with time. Very well, he said after a prolonged silence. Then you shall face the trial of the Pharaohs. If you succeed, you may use the Eye of Ra to return to your time. If you fail, you will join the many souls lost in the desert of time. The air in the chamber shifted as Akhenaten lifted his hand, gesturing toward the wall behind him. As if responding to his command, the stone wall trembled before parting down the middle. The new passage was dark. The air wafting out of it felt old, ancient. The trial of the Pharaohs awaited us. Steeling ourselves, we stepped into the passage. As soon as we crossed the threshold, the wall closed behind us with a resounding thud. There was no going back now. Our torches flickered as we moved deeper into the passage, the light struggling against the oppressive darkness. The passage twisted and turned, leading us deeper into the pyramid's belly. The air grew colder, carrying a musty smell of age and dust. Our footsteps echoed through the narrow passage, a rhythmic soundtrack to our eerie descent. We came upon a room shrouded in darkness, the meager light from our torches barely touching its boundaries. From the shadows, there emerged a low hum, growing in intensity with each passing moment. As our eyes adjusted to the dark, we saw them. Sarcophagi, dozens of them, arranged in a circle around the room. Each sarcophagus bore the likeness of a pharaoh, their faces forever captured in an expression of serene authority. But the hum was emanating from the center of the circle, from a stone pedestal that bore an ancient scroll. As I reached for the scroll, a sudden gust of wind blew out our torches. Panic gripped me as darkness closed in. But then, in the absolute blackness, the scroll began to glow, casting an ethereal light around the room. The humming grew louder as I unrolled the scroll. It was a map of the stars as they were in the times of the pharaohs. Drawn on it were paths connecting different stars, forming the constellations familiar and alien at once. At the center of the map was a symbol, the Eye of Ra, but its location corresponded to no star I recognized. "Align the heavens with the eye," a voice echoed through the room. I looked up to find the stone ceiling parting, revealing the star-studded sky above. The stars twinkled ominously as we stood in the ancient burial chamber, surrounded by pharaohs of old and the chilling voice of the God King guiding us from afar. The starry map, the opening to the heavens, the trial of the pharaohs. It was clear what we had to do. We had to align the ancient sky with the Eye of Ra's symbol. Only then could we prove ourselves worthy of the eye and the path back home. Fear tightened its grip around my heart as we gazed upon the cosmic puzzle. Our fate was written in the stars, hidden within the whispers of the past and the echoes of ancient wisdom. The weight of the trial lay heavy on our shoulders, but we were not about to give up. Not when the way home was within our reach. Not when failure meant being forever lost in time. With newfound resolve, we prepared to face the celestial trial, ready to unlock the ancient secrets whispered by the echoes of the past. Surrounded by the eerie gloom of the sarcophagus-filled room, with the stars in sight, we began the trial of the pharaohs. Our hearts pounded with anticipation, each beat a stark reminder of the ticking clock we were racing against. We had one chance to solve the cosmic puzzle and make our way back home. Sarah was the first to move, her hand delicately tracing the lines of constellations on the glowing map. Her fingers danced between stars, aligning constellations in her mind, trying to decipher the ancient celestial code. The dim glow of the scroll bathed her face in a ghostly light, her eyes filled with determination and fear. I turned my attention to the open ceiling. The same constellations that dotted the scroll mirrored in the night sky, the stars twinkling in the depths of the dark abyss, but they were just out of place, just enough to make the task daunting. With every moment spent in the tomb, the stars shifted, and so did our chances of returning home. Then it hit me. The Eye of Ra on the map wasn't a star. It was a symbol for a celestial event, a convergence of heavenly bodies. I remembered my fascination with astronomy, the nights I spent stargazing, and the ancient Egyptian belief in celestial alignment as a portal to the divine. "The Eye of Ra isn't a star, Sarah," I exclaimed. "It's an eclipse. We need to align the constellations to predict an eclipse." A flicker of understanding lit up her face, and together, we began to manipulate the celestial map. We moved the stars, aligning constellations, and calculated the cycles of the moon. Minutes turned into hours, and with every passing moment, the air in the room grew colder, the humming louder. Finally, the constellations aligned in a configuration that pointed to an eclipse. The celestial bodies lined up, the moon covering the sun, casting the Eye of Ra's shadow onto Earth. The hum from the scroll grew louder, resonating with an unseen energy. As the last star clicked into place, a powerful beam of light shot out from the scroll, illuminating the room in a brilliant azure glow. The ground beneath us shuddered, and the sarcophagi around us trembled. Then, one by one, the lids of the sarcophagi began to slide open. A gust of ancient air hit us, carrying with it the musty scent of old linen and embalming spices. From each sarcophagus, a figure rose, clad in regal attire, with death masks adorned with precious stones. The mummified pharaohs towered above us. Their hollow eye sockets burned with the same azure glow as the Eye of Ra. "We have been awakened!" one of them echoed, his voice a bone-chilling rasp. "Have you aligned the heavens?" With a trembling hand, I held up the glowing scroll, the map showing the alignment of the stars and the predicted eclipse. The pharaohs surveyed it, their silence more terrifying than any words they could speak. "Then you have passed the trial of the pharaohs," the lead pharaoh finally announced, his voice echoing through the chamber. "You are worthy of the Eye of Ra." With those words, a portal shimmered into existence before us, the edges wavering like a mirage. Inside, I could see a scene from our time, our world. My heart pounded in my chest as I took a step towards it. But the pharaoh's hollow eyes burned into us, their words a chilling reminder. "Wield the Eye of Ra with respect, mortal, for it sees all that was, is, and can be. Do not let history repeat itself." With a final look at the ancient god-kings, Sarah and I stepped into the portal. As we moved forward, I could feel the fabric of time wrapping around us. We were leaving the past behind, but the echoes of our journey would haunt us forever. I clung to the hope that we would return home, that we would correct our actions, but the chilling prospect of the unknown kept gnawing at the edge of my consciousness.